those people were racist. Racist as, and that we should be able to teach that.
Sam Seder has some of the stupidest takes on guns, and like especially like the kind of QAnon.
There were racist white people, but it doesn't mean that all white people are racist or were racist, or that's the only thing that made them racist, which is being white. Wild statement to even make.
Do you think white people have an immutable characteristic of racism?
Within the context of our society? Yeah, I think that there is. Well, I don't know that that is.
Careful.
Recently did a video called Republicans Say 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre Lessons Shouldn't Discuss Racism. And in the video, we see someone ask the school superintendent for Oklahoma how schools could teach something like the Tulsa Race Massacre without running afoul the anti-CRT bill. And and instead of, you don't show the full answer or the full interaction that the superintendent
What are you
did.
eating? I have almonds. I heard that peanuts bring down your LDL, and mine is like 7 points high, so I'm eating nuts now.
You played only the second part, the second half of his answer, kind of out of context. And then using that out of context clip, you and your co-host jumped to what I would categorize as unfair conclusions about this guy's position, about the positions of the government of Oklahoma. Because in the first part of the guy's answer, the superintendent, he says that Oklahoma should 100% teach the Tulsa Race Massacre. He says that the only way for American children to continue to make America the best country in the world is to learn from the mistakes of the past. That children should have a very clear, direct understanding of these events. He specifically says he doesn't want to hide any part of U.S.
Oh my God. Did anybody? I don't think we'll have time to go home today.
That Destiny, we're going to try out Project L.
My whole life is a Project L.
That's crazy, chat.
And I just can't stop winning. Oh my God, did anybody catch? Ooh,
Gotcha.
those
Anything else?
Spicy Trump indictments from yesterday. Yikes. Yikes.
It did.
Oh God. Hello.
Saw that you had Sam Seder on your screen, and it got me kind of thinking.
I literally just said that 3 times. That's what you claimed earlier.
Yeah.
And then now you just said the opposite of that, and then you said, "But does it really matter because it's still just hatred?" And I said,
No.
Well, I guess it kind of doesn't because we want to work against hatred.
No.
Right? That's the goal.
No. You're mixing up what I said. No, you're mixing up what I said. It's entirely possible for somebody to harm a group while trying to help them. There could be some conservatives who think homosexuality. Okay, I guess I'm out of here. Okay, eat. All right,
I'm listening
take care,
to you.
dude. Go eat shit.
Why are you trolling him so hard?
I wasn't trolling. I was being honest about all that.
No, but like we can hear your piano in the background.
No way. Wow.
Oh, that's coming through. Oh, because I switched the stuff over.
Yeah.
Oh, whoopsie, my bad. Rip.
I'm listening to you. I'm trying to have a reasonable discussion here. Why don't you share your actual opinion and clarify your belief?
Like, I think
how do they get here
the
so
Democratic
fast?
Party could become incredibly, massively powerful and popular if they would just get rid of the stupid anti-gun bullshit.
True. Actually, super believe that. I feel like if the Democrats got rid of the anti-gun shit and the Republicans got rid of the abortion shit, I feel like that's like both sides could increase their base massively without losing very many supporters.
That's crazy, chat.
Both sides, neither side wants to give much on that, I think.
Yeah, well, like even in
Anything else?
fairly conservative thinking areas, a lot of them tend to vote Democrat just because they realize voting Democrat benefits them more. So, like...
Yeah, I mean, we used to have, what are they called? Weren't they called Blue Dog Democrats? Weren't those, like, incredibly conservative people that still voted Democrat because of, like, unions and stuff? Am I crazy?
Yeah, unions, workers' benefits, like, just a lot of different things. But, like, Sam Seder has some of the stupidest takes on guns, and, like, especially, like, the kind of QAnon sort of Trump supporter people who like literally believe the government is trying to take away all their rights, and they believe in some of these crazy conspiracies. Like, I'd imagine it really puts off those types of people, but even more moderate conservatives, like, just when you think of the idea of arbitrarily taking somebody's rights away for really no justifiable reason, it scares them off. And you hear fucking people like Sam, like, not only, you know, like, the stuff about Rittenhouse is pretty cringe. But,
I mean, Sam Seder is self-admittedly would probably say he's like an extreme, well, not an extremist, but he'd say he's far left, right? So I mean, like, he sits in a far part of the political spectrum, right?
Well, I don't think he's too far from, like, at least a stance on guns from a lot of Democrats. Like, he had a really cringe take on Rittenhouse. It was stupid. That debate you had with him was hilarious.
Oh my God.
He would have guzzled gallons of his cum if he was black.
You said that I would be guzzling buckets of his cum if he was black. Now, aside from, you know, the issue of whether I would guzzle buckets of cum in any scenario, you said I would be guzzling buckets of his cum, where I'd be so excited, I'd be jizzling,
that's crazy, chat.
Sucking people's cum, that I'd be guzzling buckets of his cum. So excited
Gotcha.
that I would be
Anything
guzzling
else?
Buckets of their cum.
I think that
I would let them jack off in my mouth because I'm so excited about what they did.
But on top of that, he was coming up with this idea that gun manufacturers should be open to lawsuits to victims of like firearms violence.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately,
like,
I think even Hillary Clinton was a supporter of this position. But yeah,
really,
yeah, it was pretty. It's just I didn't mind her saying it because there was no shot anything like that would ever pass in Congress because that's such an unbelievably stupid position. But
well, yeah, it makes no sense. Like, you'd have to open up, like, you know, auto manufacturers to lawsuits because of the, like, Toronto van attacker and shit.
Sure, yeah.
Like, they're not. But I mean, when you have a lot of people who, at least online, are kind of what people are going to be exposed to when it comes to left-leaning politics and what the Democratic Party is all about, and I didn't know that about Hillary, but, like, holy crap. If it goes up that high,
no
you
way.
see this, like, insane anti-gun bullshit. Not even, like, okay, well, let's just have universal background checks, whatever. Like, literally just trying their best to dig and scratch at, like, every little, you know, possibility they might have to take away your right to bear arms. Why is the Democratic Party doing this?
Guns
like,
are
they would have
spooky.
no
It plays
trouble.
well to the base. I mean, people like to hate on guns, especially spooky rifles.
It doesn't make, like, no one in the Democratic Party is not going to fucking vote Democrat because they have a base take on guns. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if they can,
but it's like it's the easiest virtue signal rally after like mass shootings. Like Trudeau was like hyping up the Texas shooting in Uvalde or whatever when they were doing gun legislation in Canada. So I mean, like, yeah.
By the way, since handguns have been banned here nationwide,
Anything else?
There have been an insane amount of fucking weird shootings. So not only are they happening during the day, but they're also happening very frequently in places that you'd normally never see shootings. So, like, it's virtue signaling horse shit, but, like, if they're so worried about people like Trump, like, why don't they just drop this shit? It's so stupid, and they know it doesn't work.
I don't know if it doesn't work. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how much that, like, riles the base up to go and vote. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't disagree. I feel like guns are a really stupid thing to rally behind. I think it completely alienates people in the center and a lot of, like, conservative Democrats, because there are a lot of socially conservative Democrats who probably don't mind guns that much. It's just but it plays really well on TV and on Twitter and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would just like more people in the actual Democratic Party to actually think for a second how it might actually affect election outcomes, and not just think about how it makes them look on TV. You know, like, oh my god, that's a politician that wants to make a difference. Like, at the end of the day, nobody's going to vote for Trump because Biden wants to expand firearms rights. All the same people are going to vote for these people, and then you're also going to get way more like Republicans and people on the far right voting Democrat because they know their guns are going to be safe. And on top of that, like literally every other Democratic policy benefits them.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I say the same thing about Republicans. If they could just be like a little bit less racist, and then if they could just stop fixating so much on like abortion, I think those are also major polarizing issues that don't benefit the party much. There's no Republican that's not going to vote for like their Republican guy because Republicans don't have like huge positions on abortion anymore or whatever. I don't think they need to fixate so hard on it, but.
I think Republicans getting rid of their
crazy,
anti-abortion bullcrap and their racism, I don't think that would help them nearly as much as it would help the Democrats if they ended up being pro-gun.
Maybe. I feel like the Republicans have a massive untapped reservoir of voters in minority communities because I think minorities tend to run way more socially conservative than a lot of people in the United States, especially people on the left, realize. Like, minorities strictly vote for Democrats on economic policies, but socially they're going to align with Republicans way more in terms of being with traditional values, not as big on the LGBT stuff, probably being more religious. But Republicans just are totally blinded to that entire demographic because they're so racially oriented in a lot of their...
like
a lot of their stuff.
That is true, but the issue is too, like, on their actual policy positions, like especially these days, like, why would you vote for them? There's just literally no reason to vote for Trump or DeSantis or anybody.
I mean, maybe, but I don't even know how many people vote for policies these days. I don't think people think about it that way. If you ask the average Trump voter, like, what policies of Trump did he like, probably 85% of them couldn't name a single policy.
Well,
and then 14% of the rest would say the tax cuts. Like, that's it.
Well, Trump voters. And they don't even realize the tax cuts don't even benefit them.
Wow.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it actually did benefit quite a few middle and lower class people, right? Because didn't it double the standard deduction, I think, in the United States, which was probably helpful. And I think it lowered, some of the federal posted rates, I think.
I think it only really affected people making like over $400,000 a year, didn't it? That's like nobody.
No, I don't think so. I'd have to go back and look it up. I'm pretty sure
it
might have helped them the most, but I'm pretty sure it was across the board tax cut.
I don't think it was. You might be right, but I'm pretty sure it only really benefited people making like over $400,000 a year. But yeah, I just wanted to come on, spew, you know, what I was thinking because I just saw you reacting to Sam.
That's crazy, chat.
Okay. Well.
All right, well, take care, man.
Have fun.
Gotcha. Anything else?
What? Why does he hate Meow so much? Can somebody explain?
Another public service announcement. You can believe it, or you can doubt it. Let us begin with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how. Cow doesn't grow fast enough for man, so through his greed, he makes a faster plan. He has drugs to make the cow grow quicker. Through the stress, the cow gets sicker. 21 different drugs are pumped into the cow in one big lump. So just before it dies, it cries. In a slaughterhouse full of germs and flies, off with the hand they pack it, drain it, and can't shit.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm
sorry. I need to see that whole performance again.
Us history. But that answer wasn't played, in your guys' show. And he only played the second part of his answer where he says he would never tell a kid that they are inherently racist because of the kid's skin color. And he continues to say that you can teach about these historical incidences as long as you don't blame the behavior on immutable characteristics. And from just that clip, you accused him of denying the existence of white supremacy, the KKK, the racial motivations behind the Tulsa race massacre. You refer to him and the state of Oklahoma as
Jesus Christ, this monologue. Okay, RTBA, give me the reason why. Just type in chat right now clearly. Why do you hate Meow so much? Literally stupid spam for golden shit that doesn't exist. You brain dead chimp gnome bitch. People spam emotes all the time. Who cares? How many times do we spam the nails emote or any other fucking random emote? Did I put Weow in my kick chat? Do we have it there?
That's crazy, chat. Gotcha. Anything else?
Oh, it's on like 7 TV or whatever. Oh, I think he's just mad because there's like, I think Cake built into the site, there's like a 1% chance that if you type in Weow, I think there's a chance if you type in 2 of them that there's like a golden Weow that'll appear. But it's only given out to like 10 chatters a day, I think. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Stop. You guys are gonna get nuked. You guys are actually gonna get permaban. Stop. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. Stop. Okay, take a break. Okay.
Propagating lost causes.
Do I have a keeper kick happening today? Is anything happening today?
Which is the idea of casting slave owners as benevolent, downplaying the horrors of slavery, and saying the Civil War wasn't about slavery. You compared his statement and the anti-CRT bill to being similar to the conditions that caused the Tulsa Race Massacre in the first place. You referred to this anti-CRT legislation as upholding the Confederacy. You said he and the state were trying to remove the fact that the Tulsa Race Massacre was motivated by race and racism, and you all agreed to call him a white supremacist. So I guess what I'm confused about is how, from his answer, you derived all these conclusions.
Obviously, I don't have all the
bear genocide of Wheel never happened.
Necessarily recall the video, but I'll stipulate everything you've said.
What happened to his voice? Hello?
Would you just repeat to me the last thing he said about immutable characteristics?
I can read you his direct thing if you want me to.
Yeah, just repeat what you had just told me in that setup.
Okay, well, what I told you was that he said, the way I described it was, he said you can teach about historical incidences as long as you don't blame the behavior on immutable characteristics. Okay.
So what do you think he's talking about when he says blame the behavior of the Tulsa massacre?
He's saying that, what I interpreted what he was saying, because the question asked was, how does teaching the Tulsa Race Massacre...
I know that, but I'm saying, like, when he says...
I'm trying to answer the question.
Okay.
Because the person says, how does teaching this incident not run afoul of the CRT or the anti-CRT legislation? And his answer is that he's saying that he would never teach a child that the child is inherently racist because of their skin color.
No, but that's not what he said. What he said was... will you just read the quote?
He said, I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because of the color of your skin or your gender or anything like that, that you are less of a person or are inherently racist. That doesn't mean doesn't mean you don't judge the actions of individuals. You can absolutely do that. Historically, you should. This was right. This was wrong. They did this for this reason. But to say it was inherent in that because of their skin...
Wait, did I delete 5 iron alloys somehow? What the fuck?
You're saying that race defines a person. I reject that. So I would say to you to be judgmental of the issue of the action of the content of the character of the individual, absolutely. But let's not tie it into his skin color and say the skin color determines that.
Okay. So the idea... that the Oklahoma massacre was simply a function of some bad individuals, to me, is absurd. It is contrary to historical context. I mean, let's be clear. The Oklahoma massacre was not the only massacre that took place in the post-Reconstruction
That's crazy,
years.
chat.
There were dozens. There were political coups. There were assassinations.
Gotcha.
They were
Anything
white
else?
people taking out black political people and black wealth. And the idea that this was simply a function of individuals, but not a function of an ideology that came out of in the wake of the Civil War is just, I'm sorry, it's ludicrous. And just the idea that this is going to be, you cannot consider the question of race, which I guess is the immutable characteristic that he's referring to, right? That race plays no part in white supremacy is a total denial.
I do bitch kick a Chad.
I mean, and look, let me be clear. Like, I think white supremacy is a practice that we all largely in this society engage in, including black people. And because it's something that has been so ingrained into the society, into the fabric of our society, that it is, it's almost like, it's almost in, well,
no way.
In many respects, it's involuntary. There are, to be sure, there's a lot of white supremacy that is much more voluntary and much more you're aware of for some people. But broadly speaking, we make choices every day that are a function of white supremacy, that are a function of white supremacy. The idea that the Oklahoma race massacres was not a function of the whiteness and the blackness of the people involved, I'm sorry, it's just, in my mind, it's
when are we getting a Fear and Hunger playthrough for content?
I don't know.
Ask your mom.
I don't know. Remember the exact context of the guy. I don't remember the guy whatsoever. And but that view, in my mind, is both a white supremacist view.
That's crazy, chat.
Which, again, I believe that white supremacy is something that we can practice unconsciously.
Gotcha. Anything
and
else?
I believe that subscribing to that view is certainly what ultimately leads to more egregious acts of racism. And it also is, I think it is completely consistent with the impetus behind the Lost Cause. I think, frankly, the whole assault on CRT is also denial of systemic racism. I mean, it is also, I think, like a fictionalized version of what CRT in fact is. And I would also say that, like, the goal of these laws is, in my mind, twofold. It is, one, to make it so that people who would teach about questions of race to self-censor themselves, because these things are written in such a vague manner, and particularly in the case of like Florida, where you have empowered people, and I think the Oklahoma law is modeled after this. You empower people to sue a school district. They're going to err on the side of not bumping up against that law because it's so costly for them, and it's cheaper for them to avoid anything that is even remotely close to that. I mean, it's the same thing with abortion bans. That's why you have doctors saying, like, I'm not going to perform an abortion on an ectopic pregnancy because I'm not going to lose my license and go to jail. And so that type of like ambiguity around the law is not a bug, but rather a feature of that law. And then I would also say that on top of that being the purpose of the law, it is, and I think we're seeing this in Florida, which has been the pioneer in this stuff, that the next step is a beginning to proffer more.
That's crazy, chat.
The racism denial, like in the form of the attempt to rewrite the.
Gotcha.
The way that some people talk, I can never tell if I'm just getting old and stupid, or people they say so much, and I feel like it can be said so much more succinctly. Am I crazy? Sometimes I feel like when people talk, it's like, I feel like you could have said this 5-minute sentence in like 20 seconds. I don't know, maybe.
Curriculum to say that slavery provided personal benefits for the enslaved. So, yeah, I mean, I don't remember the specifics of the video you're talking about, but largely, based on his comments, regardless of what he's saying to mitigate that, I think that his understanding of both that law and of the Oklahoma massacre is completely consistent with white supremacy.
I think you misinterpret what he was saying.
I think you misinterpret what he's saying. That's really disagreeing about.
Right. Well, okay, we'll see. Because I think So my understanding of what he was saying, he didn't say anything that like you can't teach that the Tulsa Race Massacre was motivated by racism or animosity towards black people. Because the first sentence he says is, I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because of the color of your skin, that you are less of a person or inherently racist. Now you can disagree with how he defines CRT, but in the anti-CRT bill, it says specifically that you can't teach that someone is inherently racist because of their skin color.
No way.
So he's saying that's the element that you shouldn't teach. He's not saying you can't teach that the people involved in the Tulsa Race Massacre were motivated by racism.
Can you put up his full quote? Because I wasn't responding to that part, obviously. I was responding to the second half. You said something like that the events were not a function of some immutable characteristics.
He said, I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because of the color of your skin or your gender or anything like that you were less of a person or inherently racist. That doesn't mean that you don't judge the actions of individuals. You can absolutely do that. Historically, you should. This was right, this was wrong, they did this for this reason. But to say it was inherent, this is where I see it's key. But to say it was inherent in that because of their skin is where I say that is critical race theory.
I will tell you.
I think I understand what the original guy is saying. And I think I see the disagreement. So the guy said, you cannot teach that it sounds like they're talking about the Tulsa race riots. You cannot teach that the Tulsa race riots were done because they were white people and
crazy,
white people
chat.
do these things. But it doesn't mean that you can't teach that... that doesn't mean you can't mention that...
Gotcha. Anything else?
That racism was involved, essentially. Hold on one second. Stalk Rage Pope. Tell Destiny he's wrong and my ban is retarded. Jacob links this. Barbellmedicine.com, a basic guide to
I know
cholesterol.
people say things in way too many words because they need to quadruple quantify / qualify their point to make it make sense.
Replacing a significant portion of animal-derived saturated fats with unsaturated fats from fish like salmon, nuts like walnuts and almonds, avocados, olive, canola oil, or other plant sources results in large decrease in blood cholesterol and decreases risk. Good one.
That had those people who committed who flew the planes that bombed the wealthy neighborhood.
Don't ban the messenger. We do ban. Hello,
no
have
way.
you seen 300?
Wow.
I haven't actually seen that movie, but don't they kick the messenger into the hole? Was he just a messenger? I have no idea.
Black wealthy neighborhood in Oklahoma. Had they been black, they would not have done that. I think we can all agree on that, right?
He's not saying that they wouldn't have done it if they were black or if they weren't black. He's saying that they didn't do it because they were white. That's what it sounds like. That's what the original quoted guy is saying.
Sam, I don't think either one of us are disputing that those people were racist as and that we should be able to teach that. But the thing is, though, if people are saying because those people were racist in the past that you are in fact racist, or that any particular race is inherently racist as some sort of like biological determinism, that's the problem.
First off, I don't think CRT in any way whatsoever.
That's crazy, chat.
Wait, I can't tell if Pisco has just become a jerk or anti-fan. Wait, what is this? They did do it because they were white
Anything
and
else?
racist. Haha, being white was essential? I can't tell if that's a true statement or if you're just like taking the piss. What a retarded statement. It is not an essential quality of being white to be racist. They might have been racist against black people because they were white, to be racist against black people in that point in U.S. history, you needed to be white, but that doesn't mean that every white person is racist. It's not a necessary condition of being white to be racist. That's what the argument is about right now. That's what these people are talking about.
Ha 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 ha.
Which is that because people were racist in the past, they are inherently racist now. The CRT doesn't even come remotely close to teaching anything like that.
Well, kind of does, but...
What is this?
Like, I don't think Donald Trump is going to...
I think their whiteness was a necessary condition for the racism. That's what I mean. That's not what's being argued, though. What's being argued is that they were racist because they were white, or that's what the quote implies. Not that being white was a necessary condition, but both a necessary and not even necessary and sufficient. It's the what's the dude, I should take a prop logic class. It's like if A, then B, but he's saying if B, then A. But if A, then B, it doesn't like if they were white, no, I don't even think that would be the logic that would fit here. I don't know why I'm even trying to make an analogy. This is really simple to understand. If you can't understand this, go talk to Rage Pope and he'll help you figure it out. This is really obvious.
Oh my God.
Just because somebody was white in the past didn't make them racist. There were racist white people, but it doesn't mean that all white people are racist or were racist, or that's the only thing that made them racist, was just being white. There's a better, I'm not gonna use analogies. That's super easy and obvious to understand. I don't know why I would even try to make an analogy to that. You should understand that. Okay.
Prison before the election.
I don't think so either.
That's crazy, chat.
So, I don't think Donald Trump is going to prison before the election.
Gotcha. Anything
I don't
else?
think so either.
So this is really just, in my opinion, I hope this term isn't the wrong term to use. It's just theater. It is. If Trump loses the election, then this stuff will process forward, and it'll be a good reason for the Republican Party to kind of get rid of him because he's a twice loser, and who wants to keep that around, right?
Right.
But if he wins the election, this all goes away. So is that really an expression of the rule of law?
Is that even true? Pretty sure they would be like, the president pardoning himself from crimes is like, I think that's like theoretical. I don't know if it would actually work in practice that way. I'm not sure if anybody knows in practice how that would actually go.
I don't think so.
I mean,
and why'd they take so long to prosecute? Why did they wait?
Because arguably, it's one of the most important investigations in the totality of U.S. history. Why didn't they just file the charges as soon as they found, like...
Till the third year of the Biden presidency, this stuff happened.
This case has to be, in my opinion, in my uneducated opinion, this case needs to be like an open and shut. Like, you are like 99.9% of the way there. You're at like beyond probable doubt when you submit the fucking indictment at that point. Because holy f***, you're bringing weak ass federal charges against a running and prior president of the United States of America. Yeah, it's not surprising that they might have taken a while to make sure they had all their ducks in a line for this.
Many years ago, they could have filed charges before.
Am I retarded? What do you mean by in practice? If it's theoretically possible, is it not necessarily possible? Theoretically, I believe the president of the United States can pardon federal charges against people that are federally charged. The idea of the president of the United States pardoning himself, though, is an obvious, not good thing. God. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people looking at how our government functions, both in the government and citizens of the government, that are going to be looking and going, well, is that really true? Can a president of the United States really do that? Is that actually the case? That if Donald Trump murders somebody in Washington, D.C. or whatever and picks up a federal murder charge, could he just snap his fingers and walk out of jail? Is that really how that works? Is that really what we're going to say? That's a... You can say on paper, yes, but I don't know if the United States of America
Anything else?
would necessarily function in that way. I think that a lot of people would look at that as not a good thing.
I don't think Donald Trump is going to prison. I think it's way more likely that Biden pardons Trump than Trump goes to prison before the election.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. I don't think Biden would pardon.
There's no shot. Biden pardoning Trump. And it doesn't even make sense. Because people will compare it to like the pardon of like Nixon and shit. I'm really taking my ass. I need to go and reread on it. My understanding is the reason why Nixon was pardoned was because the idea was, listen, we are in the next era. We have a new president. We're moving past it, okay? We're not going to have the country descend into chaos as we get at each other's throats for this shit. We saw what happened. Everything's in the air. We did the impeachment, and now we're past it, right? So whether or not you think that's a good or bad, like, pardon, fine, whatever. That is way different. You retarded conservatives need to get it in your head that you f***ed up hard with Donald Trump, and you do need to be punished for it. You absolutely need to lose your shit for it. Your party is going to crumble for a while, at least one election cycle, but you deserve it. This was the deal that you made when you voted for an absolute fucking lunatic that the entire world could see was a fucking lunatic into office. And you did it, and you played that game, and you got 4 years, you got your 3 Supreme Court judges, and now you lose your ass on it. Like, you can't pardon somebody for that type of egregious offense. It's fucking insane. We're not even talking about pardoning him for not the one, but the...
Oh my God.
Well, no, would it... Are we pardoning him for a second impeachment? What a wild statement to even make if it was over the January 6th stuff. But like, that's notwithstanding the other federal charges that he's facing. I don't know if there are any more federal indictments that were waiting to come down. But like, no, sorry, but Donald Trump doesn't just get a clean pardon to like walk away from this. Also,
That's crazy, chat.
Could be wrong, but was that Nixon's first term or was that Nixon's second term? I think we would be looking at Nixon a lot differently if he tried to run again after getting pardoned. I think that people would look at Nixon and be like, "Oh, that was a second. Okay, so we didn't have to worry about that." I think that the feelings would be a lot different if Nixon was pardoned and then ran again for president. I think that the mood of the country would be significantly different. Maybe I'll eat my words. I mean, you can come back at it, but I super don't believe that. I super do not believe that Donald Trump is getting pardoned for these charges. Absolutely unbelievable. He did run again. They showed in Futurama. Oh well, me.
Ha 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 ha.
I think it's way more likely that Biden pardons Trump than Trump goes to prison before the election.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. I don't think Biden would...
Trump probably won't go to prison for that's not even a brave... Well, at least he's learned how to couch his predictions more. Trump's probably not going to prison soon because these cases are going to take quite a while. I don't think these cases are going to be done in a year, right? Maybe? Probably not. Almost certainly not. No, these are really, really, really big.
Pardon him before the election because he wants to be able to use that cudgel of, look, he's a criminal, he's being charged, and look how much drama there's going to be, and you don't want that in your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's part of Biden's appeal is like, I'm not Trump. Yeah, I'm disappointed.
No way.
Yeah, wow. I'm never going. I'm in the.
This guy is such a loser, dude. He doesn't deserve to look like Jesus with that hair.
I can win by being the alpha male.
So if a guy pays for my tab,
I'm getting your attention. I'm getting your attention. I'm getting your attention. I feel like I touched gun pointed to your head. You have to pick one, Destiny.
Oh my
God.
God.
Who do you think is gonna win?
I think Biden.
Gun pointed to your head. You have to pick one, Destiny.
Who's gonna win?
Who do you think is gonna win?
What an idiot!
Fuck.
What an idiot!
And so today, I am announcing the suspension of my campaign. Thank you all very much.
That's crazy, chat.
I need the couch punching.
Now, simp. I'm telling you, all the simpies that are watching this right now, break free. Start lifting immediately. Punch something.
Is that all the mic part?
You know what I mean? But I am also saying that you should do that.
Is that it? Is that the only part that I'm in? Because it's boring me now. All right, cool.
Can he pardon himself if he becomes the president? Nobody knows. Orange is the New Black. Can't wait to have my first president working in a prison. Sam Seder versus actual Justice Warrior on crime. Holy Jesus. Wait, we didn't even finish this.
But we can talk about something else.
But not really. No. Actually, no.
That's what you meant when you said we're all engaged in white supremacy, because the idea is that since our society was set up...
That's actually not critical race theories either. Critical race theories is that there are institutions and functions of society that are set up that are a function of racism in the sense that there's diminished... So, for example, it is statistically far more likely that your neighborhood, if you are black, will be 10 to 20 degrees hotter in the summer, in the peak of the summer. Now, do you know why that is? If you were black, it would be significantly more likely that your neighborhood is actually hotter.
The question though is
and the reason is because there are less trees that are planted in urban areas. There are less trees planted in neighborhoods where there are black people. That's just a fact. And the reason why that is because there's less political power and less money in those neighborhoods. This is just a fact. This is a measurable fact.
I think we should stick to the point.
That's crazy, chat.
Well, we should stick to the point of the bill because I don't dispute any.
I
don't dispute anything.
Wait.
Gotcha. Anything else?
We could have a protracted conversation. Maybe we would in the future. I'd be interested to have this about what CRT is, because I've actually read way too much about CRT and read too much academic literature on CRT. But instead of debating that, the thing that I want to talk about with this is that you can disagree with Oklahoma or this guy's interpretation of how they define CRT. But that would be different than saying, well, they're claiming you can't teach that the Tulsa Race Massacre was motivated by racists, which when I'm looking at his words, he's not saying that. And when I look at the law, it doesn't appear to say anything like that either.
I mean, in the words that you just said to me, that this actions was not a function of an immutable characteristic. That to me says these people did not attack that neighborhood in Oklahoma because the people were black. And these people did not attack and the attackers did not do so.
There's a confusion. There's a confusion going on here, Sam. You're talking about the immutable characteristics of the blacks, but I think he's talking about the immutable characteristics of the whites being racist. So if you're saying that the people who attacked have an immutable characteristic of racism, and that's why they attacked, you are also saying that people today who are white have this same immutable characteristic of being racist. That's the problem.
I think that attack would not have happened if those attackers were not white.
Do you think white people have an immutable characteristic of racism?
Within the context of our society? Yeah, I think that there is. Well, I don't know that is.
Careful.
I think no. The question isn't whether the racism is immutable. The question is whether the whiteness is immutable.
Well, what is
in the
whiteness?
sense that? Well, in the sense that I mean, I'm using the way that this guy is talking about it. Because I don't believe that this guy thinks that race is a social construct. I mean, I'm talking about the way that he is using in this context. He is talking about race. When he says immutable characteristic is race, and I would say that yes, I think that it is inherent in our society. And like I say, I think both black and white people share in some function of white supremacy.
That's crazy,
But I think the whiteness of those people was the primary motivating factor in their attacking.
What do you mean by whiteness? How are you defining whiteness?
In the context of people in 1921?
Yeah, their behavior is being motivated by whiteness.
Well, no, not in the. I think the key thing is, to be clear, you don't believe. I'm assuming you don't believe that, not like whiteness, like what does whiteness mean? But you don't believe that just because someone is white, that means that they're inherently racist, right?
No, I don't think. Well, I mean, look, I happen to think, no, not inherently. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by necessarily inherently.
It's an immutable characteristic that you're born with, in the same way that you're born with skin color.
Well, you're saying no, that racism is an immutable characteristic, and I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I know, that's what I'm trying to clear up.
I'm not saying that racism is immutable.
Right, that's what the guy.
That's what the guy is saying on the quote.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's saying that you can't teach that racism is immutable.
Read the quote back to me again, please.
I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because
I know
of the
that
color
part,
of your
but
skin.
Oh my God!
Hello, Steven?
Hello?
Hey!
Who is this?
I'm a new viewer.
Oh, what?
No
okay,
way.
Give me like 20 seconds. Hold on. People are sending me voice notes now. Chill. 1 second.
Kind of rude.
What do you?
All right.
What do you want?
I think Corantos has an immutable characteristic of being a dog shit co-host.
Okay, well, you say that, but in 20 minutes, we're about to start one of the most...
Yeah, but listen, moving forward, I've got a great idea, right? You pay this fucking ignorant clown all this money, right, to run the show and host all the show. What if you cut his pay in half and just made him the back-end guy, and then I'll co-host and you don't have to pay me anything?
You're not convinced you can get enough nutrients on a plant-based diet? Where am I getting my nutrition?
That's crazy,
I
chat.
don't know how to eat food. Someone please teach me how to eat.
Gotcha.
Truly
Anything
sorry
else?
for having so rigorously and at times perhaps unanimously indicated the What is this? Oh my God! Alex is vegan. Oh my God, he's eating broccoli.
See you next time, bucko.